my grandmother and grandfather had a way of like teaching you stories and lessons like none that I've ever learned as an adult. And so it was me and my cousins, and we were hanging out, and two of them had kind of got into it, and they somebody was lying about how the story started and who did what, but somehow my grandmother knew.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hayden Outbound Podcast. We're Southern Storytellers. I'm Philip.
I'm Shane.
I'm Derek.
I'm Danica.
So these folks from Mississippi and New Orleans, and they just happen to be rolling up 65 and were willing to stop by here at the Shedio and tell a few stories with us. So we got Mississippi stories, New Orleans stories, and then always we're going to sprinkle in something, I'm sure.
We're going to talk about Jesus a little bit.
And we're going to talk about Jesus a little bit. This is going to be a lot of fun. So let's get to telling a few stories. And I think I'm going to start off, and we're going to go to New Hampshire first. There was, back in the Depression days, there was these two guys, they were brothers up in New Hampshire. And they were super frugal on top of it being the Depression. And they were running out of money. And they said, well, we know one way that we can get some food, and that's to go hunting. So they left southern New Hampshire and drove all the way to northern New Hampshire to hunt. And that's a long ways. It's a skinny state across, but it's long up and down. Mm-hmm. Well, they went up there and hunting, and on the way back, they saw something on the side of the road. They pulled over. It was a big old black bear. And they had heard during that travel that you could get $5 for a black bear at the local town. Well, now this black bear had been dead for a long time.
Oh, so it was run over, but it wasn't
it had been run over and been left run over. Roadkill black bear. So they loaded that stinky thing up in the back of the truck.
Oh, no.
And they pulled up at the first town and went to the center of the town where they did the government things and said, hey, we got a black bear. We're here to get our reward. And they said, well, we got to come see it. Well, they go out to the car. No big deal. They know that black bear ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, you definitely have a black bear. We're going to give you $5 and you just take that thing off. They got their $5 and got back in the truck, and it hit them. We still got a black bear, and there's a lot of towns in between here and where we're from.
Make a little money.
They did that in every little town all the way back to southern New Hampshire. And $200 in the Depression, when the average rate of pay was $5 a day. So they split $100 a piece and went and threw the bear off in a ravine there near their hometown and called it a day.
Come on.
They're just making cash.
They're just making that money.
That was a cash cow. A cash bear.
Yeah, it was a cash bear. That's right.
Next time, look, that's crazy.
A little, maybe slightly dishonest, but
it was very dishonest.
Very dishonest.
That's where politics started.
That's where it was.
That's crazy, man.
Were they really dishonest, or were they just serial entrepreneurs?
I mean,
I kind of like that slick serial entrepreneur,
because it's the first town's fault for not saying, let us take the bear. Yeah.
But
that thing must have stunk.
Let me tell you.
You take the black bear.
Look, oh my gosh.
We'll give you another $5. You'll take it.
We'll give you $2 to haul it off for us.
That's right.
Well, technically, that's what they were doing. They were paying them to get it out of here.
Yeah. That's exactly right. They wasn't dishonest. They was getting paid to get the bear on down the road.
But usually it was a $5 discovery. They got a $5 discovery and a $5 disposal.
That's what it was.
They must be kin like the lineage of the whoever did Airbnb.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be where you go in, there was like one price, but now there's a fee for everything. And like a fee for cleaning, a fee for showing up, a fee for putting a code in the door.
Blinds
somebody said the fee
right.
5 fun. It's a fee for everything. So
this Airbnb is $10 a night.
Right.
Check out. It's $410. Now what happened?
You flipped the light switch $5.
$4,000 later.
Yeah. Fee 5 for fun.
Exactly right.
Oh man.
Well, tell me a story, Shane.
So you was talking about hunting. My son he's just eat up with it. And we went to Indiana the other day, and I let him listen to a book called The Summer of the Monkeys. And if you've never heard of it, it's about a child who was raised in Arkansas. And during that summer, the circus came through and the train wrecked. and it had all these monkeys get out. So he went and he was trying to find a dog, or I'm sorry, he was trying to buy a horse. And so his uncle or his grandfather told him, he said, hey, this train of monkeys is wrecked and they're out there and they want them back because they're trained. They can do all these circus acts and all. And so it was like $20 a head or something like that. It was something substantial.
Better than a black bear.
So that's right, better than the black bear. So my son listened to this book and he's just enthralled because this little boy had him a dog that went everywhere with him, and he was going to set traps and he was trying this, and the monkeys was outsmarting him, and it was just a fiasco. And we listened to the entire book. Covey was just listening to every word, just ready for it. So afterwards, what he took away from the book is, Daddy, I need a dog. And I said, I don't know that was really the point of the book, but that's what you've heard. And so, but you're not getting a dog, okay? Because we had two elderly dogs. They were little bitty ones, and they stayed in the house. And it was just a chore. I mean, after they got to a certain point, it was, you had to take care of them, had to get back, had to take them to the veterinarian. And they had both passed together within like a week or two. Don't tell my wife, but I was pleased.
Uh-oh.
I
It's
think
the wrong
you just
place
told
to tell
her.
that.
You was so heartbroken.
I was heartbroken.
I was devastated.
Yes, I was devastated that happened. And so to be free from that, I was not ready to be back involved with that. However, my son began to pray.
Oh, boy.
And I
He
said,
took it to the Lord.
He's going
to a higher power.
Yeah.
And I said, Daddy ain't going to help me. I'm going to the Lord with it. And I said, son, I mean, you can pray for whatever you want, but it's not coming from me. Daddy's not buying you a dog.
I ain't getting you a dog.
Buying you a dog. I walk out probably 2 weeks later, and there's this scrawniest, wormiest, loneliest, black and tan coon dog walking up the driveway. And his ears are all hanging,
flopping,
and he's just coming up the driveway. And I thought, no.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
Lord, I know
not.
you love me more than this.
Yeah, Lord, I know you love me.
I know you do.
And so he sees me and he kind of picks up, and I thought, no, you stay.
Don't you look at me.
Yeah, don't look at me. You stay right there. So I was walking to get a donut in our little school building here. They had left some donuts the day before, and I'm gonna have me one. So I go in, I get me a donut, and the Lord says,
how you like your new dog?
You dogs out there.
He got you.
But God.
Yeah, that's what Cody is. He's testified out there.
Right.
God does hear my prayer.
No.
But crazy though, that story, at the end of you telling it, I was like, I need a dog. I was thinking the same thing from the story. Like,
is this your son?
No, it's not my son.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying, if I was listening to the story like his son was, that's what I would have took from it.
But
like,
he did.
so the dog went everywhere. The dog helped me set the traps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
need
a
a dog to hunt.
That's exactly.
So whose fault is this?
It's his fault.
This guy.
Yeah, Mr.
100%.
You want to read? Look, that's what I tell people.
You
If I
wanna
could read
read?
it right, this career would be easy. Okay, if I can talk, this would be.
Yeah.
And let me tell you now. Look, now you got him reading, and now you got the dog.
He prayed him right up.
He prayed. Look, I already knew when you said he started praying. I said, "Oh Lord,
Oh Lord,
oh Lord." I tell you what, but how you loving your new dog?
that thing is fat and sassy. Let me tell you. I just want you to know he don't look nothing like when he got here.
So he don't look like what he been through.
No.
He's even got a
That's
bandana.
testimony. Come on, look. That's a testimony.
So your son taking care of it? Or
Absolutely. No, he
That's
is.
his- that's his
And now
boy.
I did say, I said, look, you prayed him up. He is your dog.
That's right.
Come on, Daddy.
He
That's
is your
look.
dog. And he's fed him,
Come
watered
on.
him. He's took care of him. So
Yes,
That's good.
indeed. That's so
Even
good. What's the
named him
dog's name?
Blue when he's
he
black and
named him
tan.
Blue.
Oh. Come on.
I don't know why.
He's got a blue bandana that he wears around.
Yeah.
Really? That is just, that's
He
cute.
made him a home here.
He is
That's
here.
cute.
He's in the matter of fact, he's in the house right now. I also said I ain't doing that again.
Oh, look.
But he's in the back. He's got a little spot in the back, like with a gate and all. And
okay.
So he can't be on the weather.
Yeah.
No.
Right,
he can't.
Right.
He spent too much time in the weather.
Yeah, way too much weather
He's
before.
already lived. It's time to come home to the castle.
What a lie.
Okay.
You know what?
Rock the dog.
You know a
Okay.
word I try to never say? One word in the English language that 43
Never.
years has taught me to never say.
Never.
Never.
Never say never.
I'm telling you, if
Look.
you're just inviting,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
never is an invitation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Lois to sit back and watch.
Look, I'm with you. I've learned to say I'm open and willing. And so, look, whatever is coming my way, I'm open, I'm willing.
Yeah.
And pray that, Lord, you keep me covered and give me grace.
Yeah,
But I'm
amen.
open and willing. I've learned to stop saying never.
Don't say never.
Because I think he do a little chuckle when we say never.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I ain't gonna never.
Oh, yeah.
It's a cute one, too.
Yeah, that's a cute. That's
You think
cute.
so? So,
But Danica, give me a Mississippi story. We've given you
oh.
a New Hampshire and an Alabama.
Alabama.
Are you in trouble? Well, we hope you're not. But just in case you are, we know a good lawyer. Whitney Island here in Hayden, Alabama has law services. Or maybe if you're not from Hayden, I'm sure she'd be happy to hear from you. So check her out at islandlaw.com. We appreciate Whitney and her sponsoring the show.
I grew up in a large family. My grandparents had 17 children.
Come on.
And there was 108 grandchildren. And so I was
That's
like,
gotta be a record.
I always get so shocked when people are like, well, I'm an only child. My wife is an only child. I'm like, how?
How do you
How did y'all
live?
survive? You didn't get beat up, get beat up by moms of cousins,
Yeah.
and that didn't happen to you. And so, but one of my favorite stories that I think I told this the other day, we were hanging out. And my grandmother and grandfather had a way of like teaching you stories and lessons like none that I've ever learned as an adult. And so it was me and my cousins, and we were hanging out, and two of them had kind of got into it, and they somebody was lying about how the story started and who did what, but somehow my grandmother knew. So one of my cousins, she was like, Granny, I'm telling you the truth. She did this and she did this. And Granny was like, oh, did she? Did she? She said, well, you know what? You go get her switch. You go pick the one she deserved to get.
Oh.
And you bring it back and I'm going to tear her up. Oh, she ran.
She about hit a preaching rhythm in there too.
She climbed the tree to cut down her switch, okay?
You get a big one.
She got a branch. She got her little branch. Granny, I'm back. She said, you back? She said, yeah. She said, you ready? And she tore her tail up. She knew she was lying. So she went in and made her go cut down the tree
That the other one deserved.
Look, and I tell you, there was a valuable lesson for me as a child. First of all, don't stop lying.
Yay.
Stop that lying,
Hey.
because lying ain't gonna get you nowhere.
Yeah.
Because somehow Granny always knew. And so don't lie was one of them. And two, you better be careful the branch you go get for somebody else.
Ooh.
Because it might just be the branch for you.
That might be
Hey.
your
Look,
branch.
that might be your branch, okay? And so that was, but we had so many just like old school lessons like that. And like my grandma and my grandpa, like I always tell people, I think we were the last of the Mohicans. Like,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
were like mowing their yards with mowers,
So
and we were
look
still
at
pulling
them,
it like
look
by
at
the
'em.
blade. My grandpa was like, y'all need to learn some manual labor, okay? And I'm like, come on.
Pulling it by hand.
I know, look, I'll tell it. Well, I'm being dramatic.
I
But,
see,
you know,
that's-
maybe a
but it
little.
was, everybody else had to ride mows at least, but we did have the one that just the blades turn
Rotary.
and just that's it. And I was like, we ain't got the one with the gas. You ain't got
Yeah,
the
what happened to that?
Like where is that? And so, but it was even like Saturday mornings, like, you know, most of the Saturday was usually a day for the children to rest from the hard school weeks. Grandpa, oh, absolutely not.
Get
And
out of that bed.
Saturday morning cartoons for who?
Mm.
Today is chore day.
Yeah.
You tried it, and then we used to try to get slick and do them on Fridays. We were like,
We'll do it early.
Grandpa, we got all this stuff done. He's always something to do around here.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
something.
there always is something to do.
Let me sit
It's
back
something.
and think for just a minute.
It's something. So, you know, but
How do the grandparents how do they know?
and
Experience
Exactly.
You can't get an old kidder.
Exactly.
You can't
There ain't
get
nothing
one
new under
even
this sun.
I guess,
nothing new.
Yeah, you
I
was
guess
talking about
after
that
having
earlier.
it 17 times already.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing new. So,
Yeah, this sounds like the same thing your mama told me.
That's
Right.
exactly right.
Right. So but it was such a, I tell a story sometimes during the show and I say, I felt when I was younger, I felt like I was so busy. My grandpa would always stop me and be like, well, back in my day, I'm like, oh, and he only had like
Here it
8
comes
stories
again.
that he would tell over and over and over. And I'm like, I'm so like, hey, I'm doing something. Can you find one of the other 107 running around somewhere? I was like, I'm busy. But he would always stop and he'd tell me the story. And it was like one of the ones I already knew. And, and I said, but now that I get to go all over the world and I get to tell the stories of us growing up with my grandpa, I wish I would have just sat down to listen for one more story.
Right.
And, but I think
that's why I think you're a perfect fit here. I mean, 107 other stories to combine with yours.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
you could probably write a book in no time.
What was one of the craziest
let me tell you.
things when y'all were out playing?
Uh-huh.
Or it could be at a
family
holiday event,
get-together.
gathering, or whatever. What's one of the craziest things that happened?
I think that it's so crazy because we got a song called For Mississippi. And I pretty vividly remember like my grandma, we had like chickens and hogs and, like, and once a year we did we did a pit for the hog and she did the chickens and, I was a little traumatized, I think. So I was like, anything inside I can do? Like,
can I go inside?
I don't usually like cleaning up. I think I'd rather clean up.
Yeah.
Like, let me be an inside. And so, but there was a time, and I heard my uncle tell this, my aunt's husband. I heard him tell this story, and I was like, okay, I don't think I made this up. But there was something that happened, and somebody broke the latch on the chicken coop, and like all the chickens like got out, and so my grandma's trying to get the chickens like round back in. Hogs were like running around. I don't know what happened.
Sounds like the circus.
It's exactly the little two monkeys got away. This is a So my grandma's running around, but she's trying to get all the chickens in. So Granny had to have been like 60 something, I think, but she like running behind these chickens, and she fell and like her like dress flies up. Like, it's just terrible. And everybody's like, Granny, she's like, go get the chickens.
Get the chickens.
Go get the chickens. And I'm just like, what in the world? And so in our song For Mississippi, there's it says that one Mississippi, what was it? Let me get the lyric. She feed the chickens and raise the babies. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, like that was a story that like stood out in my, like that was one of the stories that stood out. And then I think it was at my grandma's funeral. She passed away a couple of years ago. And my uncle told that story. And I was like, I didn't make that up.
Didn't make it up.
So yeah, it's a lot like my dad. I would always, in my head, I was like, I picture us, like, I remember us like riding around like Mississippi late at night, like hillbillies. Okay. We were just listening to country music, riding around. And I remembered what it was like. All the pieces were like coming together.
That's how it works.
Now y'all probably can't believe it. You can't believe it, but I used to talk a lot when I was little.
No,
and, I know.
I never even heard that.
And my
no way
mama
possible.
You don't get to make that joke, okay? These two kids, not you. And but my mom would be like, Kevin, not tonight. She was like, you gotta do something. And
you
so
gotta help somebody.
So he would put me in the car and he would ride me around, and like, I always tell people this was my introduction to country music. I would sit down and listen at the songs, and we'd listen at Kenny Rogers and John Michael Montgomery, and we'd sing soul, see who could sing it the fastest. Like, we just, but that was the time I remember, and probably now while I get in the car and I just tilt that head back, and once the head go back, I'm out. But it's how I look.
That's me.
Road trip.
That's me. Let me go on a road trip.
Listen.
Yeah, that's it. Get that little spot in between the window and the seat.
Buddy.
Done and done.
He's over mouth breathing, buddy. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna be 2 miles in.
Now,
Hey, that's her. Look, y'all pulled. I seen y'all ago.
We pulled in the first
Yeah, that's
time.
right.
Yeah.
So I said that had to be them. I said, but that wasn't a lady. There's supposed to be a lady. And I thought, you know what? I know when I made it. when I get me a driver, I know I made it. Like, you hear me?
Look, let me tell you what. Once you go around the block a time or two, like I told him, I said, if y'all see me living in a cardboard box mansion, because it's gonna be bougie, okay? It's gonna be cardboard, but it's gonna be bougie.
3 levels.
Look, come on, you already know it. Maybe 4. Yeah. And but I said, I'm gonna hire me somebody to come and pack and unpack my luggage, okay?
That's the only other thing.
And when I get real good, I said, I'm gonna get me a jet, and even if it's just one of them with like 3 seats on it, until you can upgrade to the real rich ones. But I said, man, I hate TSA, and I cannot stand to pack and unpack my bag. I just like, at one point, I just would like stack up my suitcase.
We're just gonna buy some more clothes.
Look, there you go. That's it. Look, that is
Don't encourage it.
Don't even speak that over
violating.
my life.
Do not encourage
Don't speak that over my life.
Oh my God.
That's good.
Yeah, they're told there will be signs.
There will be signs.
That's so crazy. Tell them the story real quick about the peanut video I did that you had.
So, you know the peanut guys. So after the peanut guys, we got talking about we was going to do a reel to kind of promote what we were doing and
to do something with 800 pounds of peanuts.
With 800 pounds of peanuts. So I told Philip, I said that my idea is for you to I'm going to be in the bathtub, like outside, and I'm just going to be eating peanuts. And he's going to walk up and say, "What are you doing?" I'm just going to be steady eating peanuts, and it's going to say, "I'm not going to tell everybody when I hit the lottery." But they will be
when you can bathe in boiled peanuts.
And just eat them away, baby.
Come on.
But I texted the peanut guy when I got here.
Yeah.
And he said he disappointed in y'all.
Because we ain't eat them all.
Because y'all ain't eat all them peanuts yet.
Yeah, he probably gave
I'd
us
have a diagnosis if I'd eaten all them peanuts.
We got about 500 pounds of them.
Right.
And,
oh my God.
You know,
we drive around with a crock pot.
My full intent was to share with my sister and my cousin. It was my full intent. And when we divided them up, I gave them a bunch of little cans.
That's like Bugs Bunny division.
There you go.
1 for you, 5 for me.
That's right. For me. 1 for you, 2 big cans for me. And so, but yeah, no, I'm pretty much, I think the Lord sent me here today to help y'all out.
That's what it is.
There you go, to help you out.
And we all have a purpose.
There you go. The peanut got to be smiling.
We all got a
that
purpose.
right?
She like, there has to have a socket in the back of the van. I'm like, damn, there's
no
socket in the back of the van. This is not that type of vehicle.
We need.
Like, we got to figure out how we can drive down the road and crock pot some peanuts. I'm like, it's not going to happen.
He said that's too much.
That's too much.
You got to draw a line.
Peanut juice everywhere.
Priorities.
No.
The young lady knows what she wants, and that's got to happen.
Enough stress in life. But boy, you pop you about 3 or 4 peanuts, it just take you somewhere else.
Yeah, without all the side effects.
Well, there you go.
I mean, not gonna happen.
I can't say about them side effects, but look, he ain't right.
No, he ain't right.
Look, let me tell you what. Like I did racetrack. I'm gonna get on Instagram. I'm gonna have to talk to Ford. Ford, where are the plugs in this thing? Where are the plugs? And we did at the Grand Ole Opry. The Ford sponsored. What was it they were having at the Opry?
People's Choice Award.
People's Choice Award.
Wait a minute. Give me the story. I want to go to the Grand Ole Opry. Can you take me there? Yeah, take me there.
Let me tell you. I tell you what. The Grand Ole Opry.
I know somebody.
I know a guy.
I know a girl that has friends there.
Okay. Let me tell you
friends.
what. I promise you what. Next time that we are playing the Grand Ole Opry, you all have
October 2nd.
A full invitation.
Oh,
I'd love to.
Well, that's not what I was. I was just want to hear the story, but I'm happy to take that too.
Now you got to come with
now you did all of it.
Get your mouth breathing ready, okay? Tilt that head all the way back to Tennessee.
It's a 5-minute drive for him.
Went there already.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, the Grand Ole Opry is one of the greatest places. It's the greatest place that I've ever been in my life.
Wait a minute, that's strong.
And I've been a lot of places, and every time I go, I try to be like, is this going to be better than the Opry? And absolutely not. I hadn't been anywhere. And the Ryman to me, I think is a close second. It's that sacred. It's that sacred place. Ryman definitely feels like the mother church. Like you get that feel, you get that energy, but there is absolutely no place in the world like the Grand Ole Opry. We finished AGT on September the 15th, and we flew to Nashville, Tennessee on the 17th to have our Grand Ole Opry debut. And from the moment that we walked. First of all, we pulled up. They had us a parking space that said, well, like Chapel Hart's debut, like park here. We were like, what? And
got a driver and a parking space.
And a parking space. Jelly, you got to come on, get up in your life. We get you some parking spaces.
Yeah.
And but from the moment we walked in backstage, and kind of the thing that I'd just been, although we were in Pasadena or in LA for shooting the AGT, I was just like, I wonder, is the Opry like you hear about it? Is it like they talk about it? They say it's like family, and you know, all the doors are open. You get to stop in and talk to the artist, and you never know who you're gonna see. And it was exactly like it was described. It was exactly how I, you know, it was bigger. It was bigger than I imagined. It was more than and look, let me tell you what, I got imagination, honey. And it was the most magical day of my life. And, you know, just kind of being there and everybody welcoming us and just being like, come on. Welcome home. Like, you know, this is where you're supposed to be. Take it all in.
Technically, it was home. Poplarville is like 2,500 population. That's rough.
Technically, it was.
That's rough.
Y'all.
So when I tell you at least 2,000 people in the 4,400 seat Opry was from Poplarville.
2,000 was from Poplarville and 2,000 was from Louisiana. Let me tell you what.
Listen, it was dramatic.
Crazy because, and it was funny because we messed up the first time they asked us about doing it on like August the 20th or something. We were like, yeah. And then we were like, oh, snap. We're not going to be here. Sorry. So we were like,
they had already booked the date. They screamed yes. I'm like, y'all can't do that day because we're booked on that date. And they're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? So we call the Opry. We change everything around. They get it fixed. But now Poplarville have purchased hotels and flights.
For the 20th.
No.
For the 20th.
There were so many hotels, and like they started calling the Grand Ole Opry, and they were like, y'all have to fix this fast because people were like blowing us up. And they would like sell it out of like all of the hotels that were in the area. So I was like, oh, this for real. Yeah. I said, oh, they for real coming to support. But when I say it was the greatest night of my life. And man, I tell you what, I was like, I tell people all the time, people still talking about our debut.
They still talk about their debut.
It was so Mississippi, it was so Louisiana that
they running around the Opry with fat heads.
But fat head posters
down the aisle
with Chapel Hart's pictures on them.
Screaming, Poplarville!
Oh, they're proud.
I got video proof. I'm trying to get video, and the guy
there was a lady like walking and praising God that we made it. Okay, she walking the aisles, praising the Lord, we made it.
I don't think Jimmy Martin ever had a fat head go up and down the aisle.
And we had one guy, and he is a fan of ours to this day. But Terry, Lord, I said like every blue moon you hear, and we were on stage, and every blue moon you hear Poplarville, and then sometimes it was long, and sometimes it was short. It reminded you of the Ricola commercial. Ricola. I was like, who is that? And so, but it's funny because we got to a show one day, and we were at a festival or something, and all of a sudden I hear Poplarville. I said, that's who it is. He's here. He's here. And he came back, said he waited in the meet and greet line, and he said, I'm Terry from Poplarville, and I just love y'all. And so Terry's my
super
boy.
fan.
Look,
oh my God.
But I tell you what, our debut was one for the books, and it was so crazy though. But
4 standing ovations. 4.
Speechless. Speechless. And,
that's incredible.
And I said, and as great as that day was, I think very few people remember that we were even on stage, because my grandmother, I love it because when she was like when she turned 80, she had like a little bucket list of things she wanted to do. She said she'd never ridden in a train before. So she and her best friend, they went on a train ride from like Hattiesburg to somewhere. And I was just like, that's so cool. But on her bucket list, she wanted to go to the Grand Ole Opry. And so she finally made it to the Grand Ole Opry. Well,
but it was your debut.
It was our debut.
So that's awesome.
And I tell you what,
we had a meet and greet afterwards at the Nashville Palace.
Well, you got to go before the meet and greet. They were like, all right, everybody, it's time to get up. But like my grandmother literally had a seat like right smack dab in the middle of the pews in the aisle. And there was like this big old circle around her. And everybody was just like, are you grandma? Yeah, I'm grandma. Yeah, girl. Like, it was,
girl.
It was
That's my baby.
The crowd was just like winding out. And like, I was like, well, Granny, come on, we gotta go. And so
now we're at the meet and greet and they taking pictures. And Granny finally make her way over to the meet and greet. So she's sitting in casually. She's sitting in the booth. We put her little VIP boot to the side. She got tired of sitting in that booth by herself, and she like got up and just came over to where they were taking pictures. And then she was like, "I want to get a picture." So she take a picture with the girls, and then we're like, "All right, Granny." Granny, she was like, "They can come on get their pictures."
She's like, "Come on."
Yeah, come on.
So
for the rest of the meet and greet,
about 40 people.
She done turned it around.
She done turned everybody got pictures with Granny. And then it got to a point where it was just about Granny. Let me get a picture just with Grandma.
Hey, really good job tonight. Where's your grandma?
Right.
Chopper, can you step to the side? We want to get one with Granny. Well, sure. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Use the word precious.
She should. Okay. I think there has to be some scenarios where she has been like, you are so precious.
Well,
so precious.
I had a nurse that the picture you've painted reminded me of Granny. And she would say, "It's okay, precious." And I'm talking about making somebody feel good.
It's okay, baby.
It just all melts away.
You did so good. You did terrible. You did the worst you ever done. That's all right. God bless you, baby. Bless you, baby. And it was such a beautiful. It was such a beautiful experience because the Opry really felt like how we came up. Like, I remember coming up and we would fuss and fight and one aunt was falling out with the other one or somebody's husband and
big family.
It was just family drama all the time. But there was something about it felt like if you could make it to Granny's on Sunday, there was a way to resolve it all.
Amen.
And we'd eat and we'd go outside.
It was called butter beans, corn. That's how you resolve.
Let me tell you, but it just, I think the more that you have these conversations, you miss the good old days. You miss the good old days. And so
you talked about having that big of a family, and I've thought a lot about that lately, about how
having a bigger family.
Just having that.
Thought about having 17 kids.
My boy did say he was praying for twins. I said,
you are not allowed.
We already know he's a prayer warrior
once a week.
He a prayer warrior.
He have a direct line
come through me first before you start.
You got to be a filter.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing like the priest did back in the old days. I'm gonna hold him. So come to me.
Let's talk about this before you pray.
Forget about the veil being rent. It's about to be put back up for you, brother.
He's about to get you 17 on the books, okay?
But you think about those dynamics, but how I know you would not have traded it
for the world. And I just, I got to live in two different worlds. Cause I lived in town. My mom and dad were real bougie. They lived in town. And so, the rest of my family kind of lived in Harts Chapel. And, and I was an only child with my uncle and my aunt for like 8 years. And so I always tell folks, like, you can't really box me out. Like if there was no one else, I've learned how to entertain myself. Okay.
Hey,
I told them I used to stand up on my bed and I would pretend like I was in a state and I'm like, how y'all doing? I don't know how my mom knew every time she busted, get out the darn bed. And I was like, oh,
so practicing, mom.
Right. And so, but it just, like I said, it kind of goes back to just, I think every blue moon, you ought to just sit down and talk about the good old days. And I think it's a good reminder of, like kind of like that saying that says you can't know where you're going unless you know where you come from. And so, I feel like, I'm in a place in my life where I feel like I'm I'm getting ready for a transition. And so I love that. I feel like God always kind of sends you what you need. Cause sometimes you got to look back and go, man, look at where we came. Like, look where God has brought me from.
Amen.
And then, and then again, you kind of get to re-square up your foot and to get ready to trudge into the unknown of where God's getting ready to take you. So thank you, fellas.
Amen.
I'm honored to be here today.
Can I share one Thanksgiving story?
Well, we've talked about some gatherings.
This is a family guy. That's where
Come on.
you want this.
I want this. Look, I want this one.
One thing about a boy is when he's trying to make that transition from a boy to a man, there's a time and a period where you're trying to work through all that. I had a cousin who was working through all that.
They're trying to transition from the kid table to the adult table.
Come on, look.
That's where he's at. And he picked my uncle to help him make his mark.
Today's the day.
Today's the day. And he kept picking at him and picking at him. Now, we're talking about an age gap of 12 plus years, maybe 15 years between them. To give you some context, the cousin is 13. So that puts him in good old close to 30 strongman strength. He keeps on just like a chihuahua. Yep, 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 yep. And finally, my uncle had enough. And he said, "You got any boxing gloves?"
Golly.
That's old school.
Come on.
Old school.
I didn't say this happened yesterday.
Right. No, that's old school.
He wasn't even having a talk with him.
Right.
Just get the boxing
And
glove.
that was the best thing that he had heard all day, except for the dinner bell. But this was after the dinner bell. I guess he's working off that turkey.
Right.
So he runs down to his house, which is just through the field, as fast as he could go because he had a set of boxing gloves. Comes back up there, puts them on his hands, and hands them to my uncle and said, "I'm going to show you what I got." My uncle just slid them on. And I thought, this is really going to happen. I figured somebody would extinguish the fire before we got to flame. No, everybody just backed up.
Yeah, your uncle's going to extinguish some fire.
So my uncle just he's just back. My cousin throws a punch, throws another punch, throws another 3 or 4 punches. All it does is just block him. Boop,
Come on.
boop, boop. I didn't think he was going to hit him. He put a left jab in that joker's nose and split it. He split it across his face. I'm talking about blood went everywhere. Down goes Frazier in the yard. I'm talking about just melted like a stick of butter in the grass out there. And my uncle took them off, took those gloves off, was standing over him, just laid him down there on him while he was on the ground. He said, "You ain't ready to be a man yet."
Didn't beat him with his own gloves.
On top of everything else.
Come on. I'm telling you what, but that's the good old days.
Man,
Come on,
you know how many times he bothered him after that?
Not a one.
Right. Not a nair. Nair one. Okay.
Uncle could have been 90, huh? He got respect from
That's
him.
exactly right.
There you
They
go.
solved it out there on a Thanksgiving day, buddy,
There
right
you
after
go.
supper. That's old school right
Are
there.
you sure you're
Yes.
not a heart?
Had a family.
Oh, we related so right now. Let me tell you what.
Had to remind you of a story, did it?
Look,
Good.
I'm telling you what.
Nick, you bound to have a good one now. We've been greasing you up over here, and you just wait
Now I
to
have
tell one.
plenty stories. I just don't like telling them. Like my life was different. Like I come up in the streets of New Orleans, and it just was different.
Well,
Single parent home.
I'm interested. I'm here.
Look.
Like it took me from. I mean, my mom raised 3 boys, worked 2 jobs sometime, and it was just us at home.
You didn't have the big family.
We have a big family, but we stayed like the way New Orleans is set up. You got the West Bank and you got New Orleans. Like most of my family stay on the West Bank, but my mom stayed in New Orleans East. It's like 30 miles from everybody. If it might not be that far, but it might be over exaggerating. But it just felt like forever.
Yeah.
So we raised in the city. Like my mom wasn't home; she was at work. We were outside doing what kids in the city do outside.
Which is what I need.
We don't have this information.
I don't got it.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
So we was
he
just
just
being
warmed it up in the
bad.
crock pot. Come on.
Nah, we was just being
Come on,
bad.
give it
Like
to
so, I mean, everything you can think of under the sun, we did. Fought dogs, and then we became teenagers. So, and after the just being bad, we got into the drugs. So, I got friends that had a lot of drugs. So then we wind up selling, like I wind up selling like marijuana, just heavy heavy, like pounds and pounds.
Oh man.
Like y'all got them pounds over there, peanuts?
Pounds of peanuts.
I had about that many pounds of
Man.
marijuana.
Really, as a teenager.
As a teenager.
And this just fell in your lap because of the influence that was around you, or
Yeah, well, the guys that lived in the neighborhood, they were.
So take me to the place where that was introduced to you, like the day that.
Well, I already like growing up there. Like you already knew who smoked weed and who had it, so it was already. I was already intrigued by it. So and then now I'm 15, and I'm like, I want better clothes. And I'm like, man,
How
I
can
approach
do
them.
this?
Like I see them with the nice cars, the nice clothes, and I'm like, man, can you help a brother out?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So and they give it to you and tell you, well, take
Go
this
here,
pound,
go do this.
take this pound, go sell it, and bring me back X amount of dollars, and then whatever you make from it, come buy your own pound. So I climbed the ladder, and next thing you know, I was him. I was the guy.
In it.
Yeah, I was the guy, and.
But I love this story because he always says, in my whole life, I always got my signs. And so
I get signs in life from God.
Okay.
And the signs, what I mean by signs is like, so in the drug game, everybody gonna get caught eventually.
That's happening.
That's happening regardless.
Yeah.
I got
Because
caught.
they look.
Wait a minute.
Look.
Take me to I want that. I want
I
the
got
before,
caught.
during, and after. Take me to that.
The
point.
first time I got caught was my sign. So I'm at home. I got a pile of weed on the table, and I'm just bagging it up. I got garbage bags over here. My brother laying on the couch over there, knocked out sleep. And I'm bagging up weed. And I'm sitting there and I watched the door. I don't know what made me look at the door. I guess I heard it. And I look at the door and I watched the little lock turn. And I'm like, oh.
That ain't supposed to do that.
That ain't supposed to happen. Because nobody's supposed to be coming here. It's my mom coming through the door.
Oh, me.
She forgot her driver's license.
That's worse
Than the police. She forgot her driver's
And
license
she
at home.
know
and she didn't know
about
nothing, especially not her baby. So she made the U-turn, came back home, and come in the house, and she beeline. The way our house set up is a long hallway. She beeline straight down the hallway to her room on the right. And she's in the back. I guess she's looking for her license. And then she yelled from the back, anybody see my driver's license? And in that moment, I'm sitting there scraping the shake up with this woman's driver's license. And she's coming down the hall. And I'm frozen. Everything in slow motion. I'm looking at her license in my hand. She walked past, snatched her license out of my hand. Go wake my brother up, fuss at him, and tell him have it out of her house before she get home from work. She goes back out the door, says absolutely nothing to me. Till this day, my mama didn't say nothing about them drugs to me till this day. I was crushed. I mean,
that's worse than a.
I was crushed. I disappointed my mom.
Yeah.
Like, and for days, I expected her to come sit me down.
You was waiting on it.
I was waiting on it. I mean, you talking months. I'm like,
I tell you, that's probably a worse beating than if she would have just came and just like whacked you up.
Beat you with that.
Ooh, and mama gave you the silent treatment. Mama don't say nothing.
Yeah, she gave me the silent treatment for months. And then it was just awkward. Like, I'm still anticipating her to come down on me. It never happened. It never happened. But to me, that was my sign from God.
Mm-hmm. Here's your chance.
Here's my chance. Like, I know I can't continue to do this because the police are coming next time.
Your mama caught me this time.
The police gonna catch me next time. So God gave me that little bumper, that little warning. Stop doing what you're doing. So, I mean, that day, the guy that I got it from, I called him. I let him know, like, look, man, I got popped. Like, I need to get rid of all this stuff. Like, he was cool with it. And 3 months later, every single friend of mine that had something to do with that load of marijuana got popped by the cops and got serious time in jail from
the operation.
From the whole operation.
But you were
Out of it.
I was out of it. I had gave it up. I was
Boy, I tell you
totally
what.
different. And that was like the last of me. Like that's when I kind of turned my life around. I got involved in music and started I'm like, I can't keep living like this. Like,
because life's real, man, and real life's messy.
It is.
We've talked about that a lot on the show because we we have shared some very vulnerable of positions we put ourselves in the past. And it doesn't make us look good as Christians now, but who are we to sit here and say like, oh, we've never messed up.
I tell you what, we were just talking about that before we got started. And I think the thing is that if the enemy can keep you bound by if he can keep you bound up here and you think, oh, my story's too bad or my story is so big. If I told it, nobody would like me. Everybody would shun me. But the thing is, if the devil can keep you there, then he can keep you from getting here. Because the truth is, if you can tell your testimony, you can save somebody else's life.
Yes, for sure.
You can save a life.
Ask the woman at the well.
Hey, come on.
But what people don't realize too, though, the devil never
stops. She'd be stealing nose. She'd be stealing tail. Okay?
He never stops.
Run and tell that.
Right.
But it just it's such a like I said, kind of even when we were talking, I was like, I vowed. I said, I'll never sometimes I'll be talking too much too. I just be telling folks that. They be like, girl, don't be telling your business.
You gotta tell everything.
Yeah. That's what my mommy said, girl. I was an oversharer. She was like, you ain't got to tell everything. I'm like, I got to make sure they know, honey. Yeah. Be sure and know. But it just, I always said like, I just vowed. I was like, I'll never hold back a part of my testimony, no matter how bad that I think it was for me, because if there's something that I can say, if there's something that I could tell that I've been through that can help somebody else overcome, then you know what? Then it was worth it. Was worth every tear, every pain, every moment of pain, everything that I went through. It was worth it if it can help save somebody else. So
that's one of the things that kept me out of the ministry. And made me wrestle a lot more than I probably should have.
That's probably. I mean, I remember having those conversations
because I made statements similar to, "How could God use somebody who's done this? How could God use somebody that's done all this?" And that's the enemy. That's the enemy talking to you when he's saying that. Because as far as I know, God's a God of grace, mercy, forgiveness, a rewriter of stories, and so the conclusion that I came to, and I don't know if this will help anybody out there today or not, but you can do two things with your past, at least two things. One thing, you can try to forget about it. You can try to cover it up and try to keep it to where nobody knows about it. And you can sit there and continue to wrestle with it and suffer and let it take your joy. Or you can say, yeah, that happened. I made that decision. Now, how can I use what happened for the good? Yeah, and
that's good.
So that's a testimony. What you shared, that's what you did. You didn't deny it happened. You're not proud of it. Yeah,
right.
But now it's time to take that and allow something that was bad to be turned into a tool for good and share it with somebody so they can avoid even the kitchen table experience.
The power of a testimony in a Christian's life is taking those trials, those difficult times, those failures, and finding a way to glorify God with it.
That's it.
But the great thing is that all things are possible through Him. So when we say, well, there's no, how can God be glorified in this? Our little shallow minds can't even fathom what God can do to glorify Himself through these trials and through the testimonies. So
preach.
I tell you, I mean, it's so powerful. The Bible verse that saved my life was Romans 8:28. It said, and we know that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. Yeah. And I had a moment. Let me tell y'all, I'm a little dramatic.
I'm here.
And I don't even know if y'all can use this. If you can't use it, if you can't use it, you cut it out. But I got to the place where I just felt like I was just in everybody's way. My mom and dad kind of were like, "You gotta we cannot pay your rent and our mortgage. Okay, you gotta figure it out. You gotta figure it out." So it was kind of, I was like, I felt in the way there, and I kind of started falling out with my friends, and I didn't understand why. It was just the most random things, and I'm like, I'm in the way here, and I I'd lost my job, and in Poplarville, if you get a job at the hospital, you've made it.
You made it.
And so I lost my job at the hospital. I said, this must be it. This must be it. And I was like, I said, Lord, I said, I'm going to live for 1 week. I want to just take 1 week, and I want to see everything. I want to stop and slow down and see the things that I didn't see. I want to, and at the end of the week, it is what it is. And kind of about day 2, I must have started getting scared because I said, "Now, Lord, if there's anything you want to tell me before I go,
I am being still now." Right.
I said, well, and I still had the plan I was going to go through with, and I said, if there's anything you want to tell me before I get out of here, you just let me know. And so I didn't hear nothing for a couple of days, and I was like, well, I guess you ain't got nothing to tell me, but this is it. So finally, that night, he took me to Romans 8:28. I picked up the Bible, did the flip, and then I was like.
Yeah, let's see what God's got for me.
And he took me there, and I read it, and I said, "This what you want to tell me before I get out of here?" I was like, "This is nothing." And so he said, "Read it again." I just kept hearing, "Read it again, read it again." And so a couple more days went by. So we get near to the end of the week, and I'm just like, "It's not still." I don't know what he tried to give me. And finally, I read it, and it said, "All things work together for the good." I said, wait, so you mean to tell me all the bad that I've been through in my lifetime from a kid to now, like all the hell that I've been through, everything that I went through is going to work out for my good? Is that what you're telling me? Because if that's what you're telling me, I might maybe make 1 more week. Like I could see if you're promising me that, because my daddy used to say, if you can find one lie in the Bible, you can throw the whole Bible away. Okay. It was like, God don't lie. And so it was sitting there, and something about that verse just sat on me for the next few days. And it said, everything is going to work together for your good. And I knew that I was called by God. I always knew God had something special for me because I was a little weird. I was a weird child. And I
was weird. I knew that.
Look, and I knew, I got confirmation. I had a cousin that said, "You were so weird." We did not know who this shit. And then finally, once we went to AGT and things happened, she said, "But it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense now. There was a greater calling on your life." We were just all, but that verse that just said that everything was going to work together for your good. And so, and even some of the stuff, there was things that I'd done that I felt like I couldn't let go of. I was like, God won't ever forgive me for that. Like,
that's a lie of the devil.
And I said, but somewhere in his promise, he said, I'll turn it for your good. Like, commit your life to me, and I'll make it for your good. You'll be able to. I used to feel so ashamed to tell that story. And I'd run into people who would come and be like, "I've done this," and I'm like, I understand. Like, I've been in that situation, but it was so hard for me to choke it up to say. But there is something about freedom. Yeah. When you are free in Christ, and he said, because whom he set free is free indeed.
Amen. That's it.
Boy, there is something about that freedom. When you can live in freedom, man, I tell you what. And I tell you, like I said, it's just that 8:28, just Romans 8:28, just it is the one that changed my life. And
so when you read that, you said, I got it.
I got it.
I can go forward. It's not going to be this ain't the end of me.
This ain't the last week, Lord. I'm going to give you, but look, I'm sassy too. I'm going to sit out 1 more week. Let me see if this will work. And then, and then I was back and forth though. Like, after I survived the week, and then afterwards, but I was just like, so you want, and I was just kind of reading, but I was like, you want righteousness. I was like, what is the cost of being righteous? Because I was thinking that, I'm trying to do right. I'm trying to have the right friends, and I'm trying to do good. What comes of being righteous? And I was just like brazen with the Lord. And I had a friend that called me, and she was in ministry. She was like, Danica, and at the time I'd kind of transitioned. I kind of was like in a season of isolation. And so I discovered Tasha Cobbs, and I discovered Cheryl Brady. And so those are like my two, I'd listen at Cheryl Brady's sermons, and I'd listen at Tasha Cobb music. And that's just kind of where I was, that'd be my. And she said, Danica, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. What are you doing? She said, I don't know how I missed this. And he said, she was like, I don't know how I missed this, but Tasha Cobbs and Cheryl Brady are preaching. And she was like, Cheryl's preaching in Slidell, and Tasha Cobb's coming to do worship for her. She was like, I don't know how I missed this. She was like, but I only have 1 more ticket. She's like, so if you can be ready in 20 minutes, I can be. And I was like, I just sat there with my mouth open. He said, I honor righteousness. He said, there absolutely, he was like, even though it feels like nothing comes of being righteous, and you get to watch everybody, some of your friends live whatever life they want to live, and it seems like they're getting by. He was like, but the righteousness does not go unseen. Your effort does not go unnoticed. Yeah. And it was the craziest thing. And it was just like, that moment was one for me. And I was like, whoa, that's big God. That's capital G-O-D. And I was like, and the fact that he used both of them, that they would both be there in Slidell, and I felt like that was really for me. And it was God being like, I'm with you. He was like, you held on for a reason. I've got you here for a reason.
Yeah. That would say there will be signs.
There will be signs, won't it?
But the miracle was she got ready in 20 minutes.
I was thinking that was kind of a short time frame.
That was the miracle.
So I can't do it.
You
like
just remember this
only
story.
got from the book. He needed a doctor. He got from this story.
Yeah.
That's what he got. It
You can get dressed in 20 minutes. Okay.
I don't want to hear no more. I can't get dressed in 20 minutes. Yes, you can.
Oh, yes, you can.
Well, before we move on to, we got two other segments that we really want to get to. I just want to give another opportunity. Anything else from your growing up time, Mississippi family, any other
New
story
Orleans.
you'd like to share before we kind of transition?
I don't know. You might get us back for a part 2.
Oh,
next season.
Don't tempt me.
Look, I'm telling you. But
We'll do it at the Opry when we come up here and introduce you.
Oh, look. Tell them to get us a table.
And now, Chapel Hard. That's what.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Now, here's a guy with a horseshoe mustache and overalls to introduce Chapel Hard. I don't know who they are, but they said they're with him, so we're trusting that.
There you go. That's so funny. But
I want to do one thing before I got a little story I'm going to share and introduce this lady here for one thing. Would you get that toe tether?
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that one more time.
We got to do a little.
So the fine folks, that's Neil. I talked to Neil for about an hour.
Did you?
Yesterday. And man, you talking about just a good guy.
I like him.
I mean, he was bragging on Jesus and sharing some testimony and stuff like that. And he's got a brain for this, is what I come to find out. And I'm jealous. Shane's got an engineering brain.
Oh, come on. That's that math.
So this is the difference between Shane and I. We open this package up and we put it on the table. I'm immediately going to be Googling, what is the first step of putting together a toe tether? Shane's just like, oh, yeah, here it is. He's already got it installed because that's just the way that it works. And if you're looking for something, a safety cable for your trailer, whether it be the equipment trailer that you're pulling, camper, and you want to be DOT compliant and you want to make sure that the brakes are going to lock up on that trailer.
If it falls off.
That's
what it is. It's a designated place to attach your emergency brake.
Because this is week 4.
It's time to open it.
Let's open it and show everybody what it is.
Yeah. We've just been showing the package.
Come on.
But this week.
Oh, the only thing is
getting in the package.
Hey, wait a minute. I got something special. We're going to turn this into a story.
Hey.
What have you got?
So Randall, this is my knife for Randall. From Randall. He sent us a gift. One of the followers of the show. But he said it was a Sunday go to meeting knife. So it was a pocket knife to only put in your pocket on Sunday morning.
Today ain't Sunday.
But today ain't Sunday. But I'm going to tell you, this thing is cut weed eater cord for me today. And right now it's fixing to get in the toe tether. So Randall, again, thanks for making this moment possible. And here's the instructions, which would have been really important for me.
Okay.
No, you don't need that part.
Y'all don't use those.
So Shane, just take them through it real quick.
Yeah. So what you got here is you got the cable. And the cable, you put this around, say you're at the hitch on the backside or some part of your frame. And then this portion right here.
Show the camera. Show the camera too.
Here we go. Look.
So this is your cable. This part right here is pretty easy going. Take it off. And this goes in this. This goes around here. So that would be around your frame. And then you just tighten this up. One-handed, just like that right there. So when you tighten that up, And that's locked into your frame. And then this is what you attach your emergency cable to.
Oh.
And so that way it's a designated place to hook your emergency cable up from your trailer. And then whenever you get ready to take it off, you just undo it. You're going to sell. This is when you sell the truck.
Oh,
you make sure you take it with you.
Make sure you take this with you. Right?
Come on.
And you put it back.
And we were blown away by how well it's built. I mean, it's good.
Can
the
I see
metal's
that?
good and
Absolutely.
everything else.
Yeah, you might need one out there on the
Look, come on the old van.
on the old
out there.
van.
She needs that right behind the
look,
plug.
Yeah, and ladies, if your husband ever like, I gotta go work late, you just put his arm through there and you link it through and say, you ain't going nowhere.
You ain't going nowhere, young man. You're right here with me.
Well, there you go.
A husband tether as well. Trailer or husband, however you want to do that.
Very good.
But again,
man.
thanks to Neil. Thanks for the team at Toe Tether for supporting the show. And we really appreciate it and believe in the product. We think you've come up with something really awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We took a family vacation down in Panama City a couple of weeks ago. Stayed a week down there. Really enjoyed it. Had great weather. Just the family. Just my little
Right
family.
up the road from us.
Uh-huh.
Just right up the road. One night we were kind of YouTubing every night.
Mhm.
Just watching different things on YouTube. And I said, y'all come in here. I want to show y'all something. I got a little something special for you. America's Got Talent, Chapel Heart. And I let it play. And so there you are, your band on the edge, and they call you out, and there's Simon and the whole crew out there. And my little V, who likes music, like you, I'm telling you, y'all got a lot in common after talking to you and hearing your stories today. I mean, a lot in common.
She got imagination.
So she realized it was about music, so she's all in now, And y'all get out there, and I said, she's coming to record with us. And so you then go out there, the gold buzzer, and everything goes nuts. And she's like, Dad, are you serious? To the Hayden, Alabama podcast? And then we watched a couple more of the shows or whatever.
Yeah.
But so obviously at this time, people realize y'all were on America's Got Talent, got a gold buzzer, everything happened. But what I want, so that's my side of the story. That's the onlooker side of the story. I want to go to behind the curtain when you walk out. Just tell that story. I want to know what it felt like to do that.
I tell you what, I'll back up a little bit because we so it's crazy. I'm gonna try to tell this short. The get up to it part, which is that I've kind of recent, like I feel like more recently, like like sometimes how God just sends you as like, come on, like just sit and surrender, I got you, and then you're like, I gotta do. He's like, just sit and surrender, I got you. I got this. So there was a girl that reached out, and she was like, I don't know what I was thinking. She said, but I have you all on my playlist. She said, you all should audition for America's Got Talent. She was like, your music is so good. Your songwriting is so good. She was like, the world needs to hear this. And we were like, no, thank you. We're busy. Yeah. We're touring, and we got a little tour we're having put together. Fun. And so I said I think the blessing was that like she was like a pit bull. Like if we said no 14 times, she came back 15 and was like, but what I'm trying to say is y'all need to go audition.
But in the back of your mind, was it because you were afraid you wouldn't win? Or what was keeping you from doing that?
I think that in the industry at the time, I
think we were just busy.
Oh, you were legitimately busy.
But also at the time in the industry, the thing was, it was kind of like once we did say that we were going to the show, like they were like, we have a few like industry friends, and they were like, do not do it. Like it is career, like it will end your career. So it was just like, so everybody said don't do it.
Seem like that adds up.
And
well,
I guess
in that world it does.
I'm just saying,
at the time,
as an outsider.
Yeah, at the time, it was like those shows where you either win it or it's career suicide.
I see.
Yeah. So
if you don't win it,
then you're a nobody, a has-been instantly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, you're the girl from that show. Like, and so, but also, like he said, like we were just kind of, we were independent. We were still independent, but like we were just like, we were doing things. And so like, no, thank you. And we were getting the big thing for us is that we got an opportunity to open for the Indigo Girls, like on a 1 week stretch. So it was like, this is it. Mm-hmm. And so kind of we started winding down, and we got an email from the Indigo Girls that said that somebody got COVID, and so they're just going to shut down the whole run. And so we were like, hey, Lindsay, is that still?
Yeah, we're actually, we're not so busy anymore.
I was like, crazy that we just opened up. And I was like, and we were just like, look, if it's not possible, then that's fine. She was like, no, I'll make it, like, I can get you connected, blah, blah. And so we just thought we were like on TV. You just walk up to like a table or something and be like, no. And they were like, absolutely not. Or like, come on, you next level. So they were like, bring like five outfit choices. Like, it's going to be like, we're going to get some B-roll. So it was like, we had a one outfit for like 3 days. And it was like 3 days of like, when they were like B-roll, they didn't say B-roll every day. And so it was like 3 days of B-roll. And, and they were like, so tell this story one more time again for the 5th time. And it was just like, all right. So we weren't accustomed to like TV. And it was just like, all right. So by the time we are standing side stage to go out, by this time, production ready to go home. I think the judges are ready to go. We're like the last 4 auditions of the season. And the production's like, listen, there's no more golden buzzer. Every judge has used their golden buzzer. There's no golden buzzers. Just try to get 3 yeses. All right, go. And they kind of like push us on stage and we're like, hey. And so like, judges are sitting there. And I don't know if I've ever been more nervous in my life.
You looked a little nervous.
And look,
rightfully so.
We were nervous because my sister Deb never talks ever. And she just like, go Dan. And so, but I couldn't talk and she wouldn't be quiet. And so it was like,
roles
never like
reversed.
talking. So it was just, and I think it started out because also you can't hear the judges that well. They don't like really set it up that you being able to hear them is the priority. So like you can kind of hear, if you listen close, and I can't hear that good because I've been doing music for 1,000 years. And so Simon asked us something and I said, we're a trio. He said, well, I can see that. And I was like, it started.
It's over.
So really it's part of the reason why I'm so quiet because I'm just like, I ruined it. And so he just kind of laughed a little bit. I was like, okay. And so anyway.
We're a trio.
Thank you for the count.
That means there's 3 of us.
We're a trio. He's like,
you think it's different in the UK? I understand.
He's like, I see that. I was devastated right off the bat. This is like question number 2. It was, what is your name? And then he asked something I couldn't hear, but I thought he said, and what are you? And I was like, a trio. He's like,
I'm a human.
Right.
Me, Danica, human. And so, I was like, no talking for me. Yeah. And so anyway, so we're there and like, and so I'm just like, just get us to the song, please. And so, they say like once you finish talking, they said you step back to wherever the marker was, and they were like, that's it. And so the music starts and I'm just so nervous. And kind of the first couple of words come out and like I think the audience doesn't know what to expect.
Yeah, they didn't know what they were going to get.
What is this? So I started singing the first few words. What is this circus? But it was like, I started singing the first couple of words and like, I can see like some of the people on the front row being like,
this ain't bad.
And then so something to me, I'm like, it's a Chapel Heart show. Like, it's a Chapel Heart show. Come on, like, girl, get it together. So I started singing and they start dancing and all the things. And literally, I think by the time we got to the second verse, and I was like, somebody get out your seat. And everybody like, all 4,000 people stand up and they are clapping and singing. And so we get through this song, and first of all, crazy, we weren't going to sing You Can Have Him, Jolene. We were going to do 9 to 5 by Dolly because we were like, everyone will know it.
Right.
Everyone will. And just like 30 minutes before we went on, the music director says, let me see that original song that y'all have one more time. The You Can Have Him, Jolene. Let me see that one more time. She said, but I want you to do it like you're out there. So we did it. And after it was over, the room was just quiet. And she said, this is the one. She said, you've got to do it. She said, you've got to take a chance on yourself. She was like, this is so good. And she said, and she said, and even if the judges, she's like, if they hate it, like worst case, they hate it. She said, but you'll know you bet on yourself. Right. And she was like, you'll know. And so we were like, all right. And so everything about getting up to that moment was just like, and so when we finish and the crowd it's the loudest crowd I think I've ever heard in my life, but for me, I think we were so overwhelmed because for the first time up until that, we were like in Nashville for like 2 years or a year, like pedaling, like you can have a joint, like, what do you think about that? And everybody would say like, oh, it's good, but have you wrote with John Smith, or it's good, but have you met Kara, whatever? And it was always, it's good, but, and it was just like, sometimes, it's the ugly baby theory. Like sometimes your baby ugly, and but and to you got the best. This song is so good. Like,
oh shit, he's pretty,
but sometimes the baby be ugly. And I was like, we were really getting to a point too that we were like, well, is the baby ugly? Because like we're singing these songs and people are like, yeah, y'all are okay, but and so it was a place that we were at too, like in our career, where we were like about to sit down to say, yeah, let's look at this thing, okay,
little creature.
And so
let's look at this creature.
But for the first time in our career, all 4,000 people just got us exactly who we were, like just these Mississippi girls, like telling these stories, like, you know what I mean? And it just,
backwoods.
And it didn't have to be explained, and it didn't have to be who we knew. Did you know? Do you know?
Did you write with?
Did you write with? They just loved us for who we were. And I was so overcome with emotion, and just that, like, and we knew there was no golden buzzer. So when people start screaming golden buzzer, and I'm like, oh, y'all so sweet.
Thank you.
Y'all so sweet.
They out.
They just told us they didn't have any.
So now all of a sudden the judges kind of start looking around, and they have TV moments, like, like where you're like, and then that was the worst day of my life. And then they go, we're going to reset the camera. Can you just do that one more time? Like the cry, like the whole story. Yeah. And so they're like, just one more time. And so we didn't know if this was like a TV moment. So Tree leans over and she said, should we just leave? And I was like, Tree, maybe just give it one more minute. Like just one more. So can you imagine we would have got the golden buzzer and not been there? And so Tree was like, let's just go. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, let's wait. And so Terry walks up, and I was like, I just don't know. They didn't tell us. Like, they don't tell you now? Like, so I'm thinking this is like a production thing. They're about to reset and something, but they're not telling us. And all of us, and so also it goes back to, you can't hear what the judges are saying up here because the system's not set up for that. So we're just like standing and looking, and all of a sudden, like, it's like everybody's hands go up. 5, 4, 3, 2. Y'all remember that gullibleness in the beginning? I still was like, now what is going on? And
they're going X's out, right?
Right. We getting X's. So anyway, they hit it, and out of nowhere, it's like, and I'm like, I just start crying.
You did have that look on your face. What just happened?
And you lied to me. And when I asked you about it, you lied. And so, but I was like, what is happening here?
That makes sense now.
So if you go back and watch it now, it all kind of makes sense. And in the moment, I'm just like, the only thing that I was like, Jesus, like, what is happening? And then in the next one, I was like, I'm just folded over, because I'm like it finally felt like all the hard work was paying off. It felt like all things were working together for the good. And it is single-handedly the second greatest moment of my life. Like, sitting right next door to making my Grand Ole Opry debut, but it was just the moment. And then I think the big thing for me was the moment that came after it, when we got emails and messages of people saying, like, my daughter watched this, and she's been struggling. She doesn't think she's good at all. Like, her confidence isn't there. And thank y'all for showing up. And thank you for going out for America's Got Talent. Thank you for, and I was just like, man, like, it's just one of those things. And I kind of tell this story sometimes, and it just like, and then for a moment, like, we would have so many people to reach out, and they were like, y'all are doing something so beautiful for the Black community. Like, they were like, my daughter, like, y'all are people who our kids can look up to, and, and so on and so forth. And so I was like, doing this for the, the black kids of the world, like who are, because we grew up in Mississippi. So we grew up on country music. It was country music on the bus at school during nap time. It was always on Kicker 108. And so,
108.
Shout out Kicker 108. And bless you.
Play my
bless
song.
you, baby.
And, if you Chapel Hart.
but I don't know. But I guess there was always that kind of like stigma, like, why are you listening to country? Like, why do you? And so, but they were like, because of you, I can listen to country music out loud. And I was like, come on. And then there was a moment in Meridian, Mississippi, when I realized there's a much bigger thing going on. And there was a little white girl sitting in line, and she was kind of chunky. She had her pigtails and her boots, and she was all decked out for the Chapel Hart show. And they were like, she was just kind of like she was waiting to run. And ready. So I'm thinking she's coming in for like a hug or to get her spot in the picture. And she comes in and she like kind of like almost knocks me over, and she was like, thank you so. She was like, I love you. She said, you look just like me. And I was like, I had to like double down and look. And I was like, but man, I was like, this is so much bigger than you're like doing something for, or being a representation of the black community. Like
it's not just a singular community.
Yes.
There's a whole group of
And, and I don't know, and like just being able to do this, there is I feel like at our show sometimes, like I said, I watch so many, I always tell the husband, I see y'all, look, I know y'all was dragged out here. Okay. Look, I see the look, but if you can stay woke for the first 4 songs, I think we can find some look.
Yeah. You can enjoy yourself.
Look,
right.
Well, you say, you're really representing humanity. I mean, who has not had a moment in time where they thought, I just can't do this. Who am I? I don't have a purpose. Or
that's me today. I didn't think I could do this.
And you did a great job.
Hey, you see the shirt.
Come on,
can move mountains.
I think the shirt is actually what we got him go to. You wearing a shirt that says Faith Move Mountain Can't Sit on the podcast?
That's what really got me. She said that, and I'm like, why would you say that?
You scared to sit down. Come on.
I'm going to change shirts.
That story, her mama, she overshare. That's mind your business.
Overshare. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. But today it worked.
Here's what I want people to know. Obviously, there's going to be some interest. How do they either find out where you're playing? How do they listen to your music? Share that with us.
Look, let me tell you what, this whole mouth of mine, y'all, sometimes I get on social media and I just start talking. And then by the time people start like comment, I'm like, what have I done?
Yeah.
And so there was a thing that was just like plaguing me. Like I've got probably in my phone, maybe like 50 songs of just like unwritten songs that the industry will tell you, like, don't you dare share your music. Mm-hmm. Don't share it with people before it comes out. But it's so expensive. Like to make an album nowadays, you have to take out a little small mortgage.
Yeah.
Especially
I know
if you
nothing
want
about that.
Let me tell you what, it's so expensive.
TikTok Live, real cheap, ain't it?
Look, I'm telling you. And so I was
just hit the button.
I was like, why is it not okay to like sit down at a coffee shop and sing these songs? I was like, let y'all decide if you like them.
You
like,
like them or not.
The consumer.
That's exactly right.
And I think I didn't talk myself into a coffee shop tour. And they're like, please, we want to hear these songs. And there was like coffee shops reaching out, like, we would love for you to have it here. I was like, let me get back with you. I gotta do a little.
Can you talk to Derek?
That's exactly what she did. Derek, I got a list of people you need to call.
And so I guess, maybe y'all hear it here first, but I think we're going to get together, like we're going to put together like these kind of like songs and stories tour and just awesome. Kind of where we can sit down and I can share like some of these things that I'm writing. And I've got a lot of songs about, I get gospel songs too, that like, there's just these songs of like just getting over it and that like you're going to make it. You just got to hang in there. And so, but as soon as we get that, old Derek here gets to working.
She went from weed to Derek. Did you notice that?
From weed to Derek.
As soon
I heard that.
And but we're gonna be announcing those dates probably soon. But
Cool.
DanicaHart.com can get you everywhere, and it'll
DANICAHART.com.
And but also too, we Chapel Heart. We still got shows going on. So if there's anyone that you'd like to catch Chapel Heart at, it's ChapelHeart.com. And Chapel like a church, Heart like a last name, HART. And but I'll know some people, I used to say that, and somebody said one time, well, how do you spell chapel? And I was like, ugh.
Well, you can't have two P's.
Look,
some people add the additional P.
and some people are dyslexic, they move around the L and the E.
No.
I put in a
She said, for those of you who are listening, Danica just raised her hand.
Some people, some people, that's me. Y'all, I put in so sometimes we'll order like a small batch of merch to see just to test it and see if people like it, see if they want. Y'all, why did I spell chapel wrong? And we got all that merch in, and I said,
You printed it like that?
Yeah, I did.
Yes,
I did. And he was like, "Yeah, this absolutely no. We gotta have to just put it in the order."
Item.
So they sent that bill right on over to me, and I said, I won't be ordering merch no more. Y'all, I'm telling you what, but the Lord, as Derek said, the Lord will give you your signs, and He will look. They say your gift will make room for you. Sometimes the message today, stay in your lane, okay? Because one time. I know I shouldn't be the booking agent. I shouldn't be booking nothing. So, but we did it probably in 2015, I think it was 14 or 15. We were booking, we were going to New York, and there was a place like a little, New York is so expensive, and we just did not have it. And but I was like in Corona, New York, I was like, we could go outside the city.
And she was so proud.
And I
found this hotel.
I got it.
It's nice.
Y'all,
it's not expensive.
They spell chapel the same way I do.
Hey, right?
They just was getting ready day before. I got my little folder ready.
This is where we're going. I'm going to sleep. You drive me there.
And as I was reading this fundamental. He driving. I'm looking over
this address do not exist.
And then I was like, let me type it. I typed it in, and it was like 39 hours. I was like, to New York. And I had done booked us rooms in Corona, California. I said, oh my God. Oh my God.
We're in the middle of the night.
Hours later.
In the middle of the night trying to oh my God.
That hurt me so bad. And it hurt me bad. He knew. He was like, it's all right.
Cheap rooms in New York.
Right.
Shout out to Corona, California. Citizens of Corona, California.
I should have known.
I said, oh God. He was like, don't worry. He was like,
don't worry.
I'll handle travel from now on. Y'all, I was devastated. So the moral of this lesson is stay in your lane. The God will make room for you. He said your gift will make room for you. Mm-hmm. Figure out what your gift is and operate
and
in
do
that.
that.
He'll take you around the world.
Take you right on through.
Come on.
And get your hotels in the city you're supposed to be in.
And always have somebody double.
Enough of that.
Right. Mom already remember the pastor. Pastor.
Amen. Amen with the eyebrow raise.
Yeah. Y'all ready for some scripture time?
We're ready for scripture.
We're ready for it.
Up to this point, since we've done this podcast, I've never received negative feedback in real person. Mm. That's probably a testimony. Mm-hmm. The God's been good to us. Would you agree?
I would agree with that.
Well, last night, and this is no stain, no throwing rocks, no anything, but there was an individual on the other team that I was playing against that I don't think, based upon all the things that I heard, was a big fan of the Hayden Alabama podcast. And online, you get used to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you know what I'm talking about. I mean, the comment warriors, they're quick to come out of the woodwork and say whatever they want to say.
They're my favorite folks. I got something coming back at you.
Yeah, you're bringing it back.
Plenty to talk about.
But it was just a different experience.
Yeah.
And up to this point in my life, and Shane will testify to this, I have not been really good at negative personal feedback.
It's not a strong point.
It was just not a strong point.
And that ain't one of them.
I call it my non-spiritual gift.
Okay.
One of my non-spiritual gifts is I love to argue and try to verbally destroy people.
Mm-hmm. Before he said this may not make it, so he can cut this out if he wants to. We was at the deer show one time, and he had found somebody that had.
Hold on. What do you? I don't. You got to tell me about this.
I ain't gonna tell. No, just tell him.
Tell us about it.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
He had found
did
somebody
at the
had
deer
stole some of our content, and he happened to be at the deer show.
Deer show.
My man looked him up. He said, "I know what booth he's in." I said, well, "It's okay." He said, "No, he gonna know. He gonna know that I know." I said, I don't know that we need to do this. He said, "We need to do this." He said, "You going with me or not?" Yeah, I guess
He ain't gonna miss a show.
I gotta go.
Got to see it too, my boy.
Oh yeah, I got to see it through, and he was gonna see it through. So he walked right up to, marched up to it, and the whole time I'm just wiping sweat like this ain't me.
We about to take down the deer show.
Talk of time. We don't know Jesus now because we can't fight, right? But he just walked up to me and said, "Hey man, such and such." Yeah. He said, "What do you know about this?" And he just holds it straight up to the man. He said, "Oh yeah. I thought I gave y'all credit." And he said, Philip said, "No, you didn't."
You know you screen recorded this and posted it like it was your video.
God.
Oh wow!
I'm sweating on the ball. Like we're finna have the throwdown right here.
Yeah.
Come on,
but no, there was no non-Bible.
No, you're right.
I did not
He
raise
did
my
not
voice.
raise his
I
voice.
didn't
There you
slander.
go.
Did not
There you
slander.
go.
So
I just let the truth be known.
Come on, look. That's what I said. We were talking about that last night. Look, especially when I got the truth. Oh, I'm about to tell you.
Yeah, that's
I get
it.
my facts
it's the
together.
truth.
We're just creating awareness.
Yeah.
Look,
Right.
absolutely. Look, that I identify with
But
that non-spiritual gift.
I will say the non-spiritual gift did not come
didn't
out
prevail.
because
Okay.
in the past
Mm-hmm.
that would have went totally different than
Yeah.
it did.
It
Yeah,
went
yeah.
really poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Before God's grace.
Before
Look,
we knew God.
I know that guy.
Look,
Yeah, you
I
know
used to
that
be
guy?
that guy. Yeah, like,
It don't end well.
AKA Diesel.
yeah, I used to
Okay.
be that guy.
It's real fun for the first 3 seconds.
Diesel. Look,
Yeah.
come on.
Big D,
Big
Diesel.
Diesel. Come on.
Yes.
So here's what he said. This is Matthew 5:38 through 42. You have heard the law that says the punishment must match the injury. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist an evil person. If someone slaps you on the right cheek, offer the other cheek also. If you're sued in court and your shirt is taken from you, give your coat too. If a soldier demands you carry his gear for a mile, carry it too. Give to those who ask and don't turn away from those who want to borrow. So I just led a congregation on Sunday morning telling them the main thing. Yeah, you've heard. And the primary message that I wanted them to hear on Sunday, because it's what the Lord had given me as I studied, and was it's going to be hard. Jesus knew that it was going to be hard, right? Mm-hmm. But if you will follow what I'm telling you to do, you can end the cycle of retaliation. And that's what the problem with this non-spiritual gift is it feels good for 3 seconds. You give that little sting. It's like, oh, that was a zinger.
Especially
that was a good one.
you
Oh, yeah, I said what I wanted to say. What do you think about that?
I told the truth.
But now here's the problem. Here's the problem. Will the retaliation cycle begin right there in an altercation? Will the cycle of retaliation be later on when you're not ready? Will it involve your family? Will it get into all those other things? And that's what that little 3 seconds, that's what Jesus is saying. Give up the 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Just resist it. Move on, turn the other cheek, whatever you got to do, and let it go. And then you can have peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to say. It ain't easy.
It ain't easy.
It ain't easy.
But Jesus has got a better way for us. And
Because of your flesh.
Glory
you guys have been amazing guests.
Thank you.
I've had a lot of fun.
Amazing hosts.
Look, come
Thank
on.
you.
I
A
tell
lot
you
of
what,
fun with you guys.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I can't wait to share this with all my folks. And
Well, if you get Poplarville to come on up.
2,800, yeah. 2,800 folks down in Poplarville just waiting for
They
this
don't
one.
have fat heads.
I wonder if we'll hear him scream out. What did he say?
Right.
Poplar. How did he say it?
Terry.
Terry.
I'm like, hit it, Terry Poplarville.
So Terry, if you're watching this show, I'm gonna need a Poplarville shout out on the YouTube comments.
Terry need merch. Say Poplarville.
That's it.
But it goes all the way down the arm and the back around the shirt.
Yeah.
Be a lot of ink on that one.
There you
Right?
go. Oh man.
Well, that's gonna do it.
That's
This
it,
week at
bro.
the Hayden Outbound Podcast. I'm Philip.
I'm Shane.
I'm Derek.
I'm Danica.
We'll see you guys next week.